So apparently now Caitlin Clark is washed. Yep, according to former NBA players, WNBA opponents, and media talking heads, the number one pick, the record breaker, the walking highlight reel, has been figured out. She's a one-trick pony. She's not even worth game planning for anymore.
Hasn't been overly complimentary of Indiana Fever's superstar Caitlin Clark. During a December 23rd episode of Club 520, Teague weighed in about debate between WNBA players faring against NBA players. Quote, Caitlin Clark would not score a point on Bronny James, bro. She might not even get a shot off.
Former NBA guard Jeff Teague just lit a firestorm across the basketball world with his jaw-dropping comments about Caitlin Clark's injury struggles, and fans aren't just upset, they're outraged. His words, delivered with stunning timing while Clark continues to fight through physical adversity, have sparked a wave of backlash that's fierce, unrelenting, and deeply personal. People aren't just asking if Teague misspoke, they're questioning whether he's completely lost touch with reality or if there's something more disturbing behind his attack. Because when a former pro decides to pile on a young star battling injuries, the timing isn't just poor, it feels like betrayal. In a moment where grace, support, and empathy were called for, Teague chose chaos. And now fans are left wondering, what's really going on here, and why would someone who's been through the wars of professional basketball kick a rising star while she's down?
You're starting to get even more disrespect from the WNBA players, and now from somebody that has actually supported her in the past and talked her up in the past. I'm talking about former NBA player Jeff Teague. He has come out and said the WNBA has figured out Caitlin Clark. Have they figured her out? Or has Stephanie White basically put the handcuffs on what is really should be?
Jeff Teague picked the absolute worst moment to unleash a reckless, tone-deaf takedown of Caitlin Clark, and honestly, the level of audacity is almost staggering. While Clark battles through injuries that have already sidelined her for multiple games, Teague somehow thought this was the perfect opportunity to pile on. And not just with subtle criticism, no, he went all in. On his Club 520 podcast, he launched into a smug, dismissive rant that felt more like a personal attack than basketball analysis. He called her a one-trick pony, claimed she's been figured out by the league, mocked her ability to go left, said she only hits step-backs going left and only drives right. According to Teague's so-called expert breakdown, the WNBA has cracked the Caitlin Clark code, as if her offensive brilliance, her basketball IQ, her gravity on the floor, were all just smoke and mirrors. But here's the thing, while Clark is literally giving her body to this game, pushing through adversity, Jeff Teague, a former player who should know better, decided to kick her while she's down. It's not just bad timing. It's a complete betrayal of the brotherhood and sisterhood of professional basketball. And fans? They're not having it. They've seen the tape. They've seen the impact Clark has even when she's not scoring 30. This isn't analysis, it's condescension dressed up as commentary. And it's exactly the kind of nonsense that fans, players, and analysts who actually watch the games are calling out loud.
Jeff Teague, former NBA player, on the Club 520 podcast he is a part of, had some very strong words about this hypothetical matchup. In fact, he said Caitlin Clark would not score.
But here's where it gets downright laughable. This is the same Jeff Teague who, not too long ago, went viral for spouting one of the most absurd takes of the year, boldly claiming that Caitlin Clark wouldn't score a single point in a one-on-one game against Bronny James. Yes, you heard that right. The most electrifying scorer in women's college basketball history, who's broken records and redefined the game, supposedly wouldn't even get on the board against a college freshman who hasn't played a minute of pro ball. It's not just a bad take, it's a delusional one. And coming from someone who once laced them up in the NBA, it's not only baffling, it's insulting.
Caitlin would not score a point on Bronny, bro. She might not even get a
so
shot.
Bronny's beating Asian?
Yes. He gonna kill Asian. I swear to God, Bronny would destroy her, bro. Y'all are crazy.
Nah, DJ's bugging.
Bro, he would beat her 20-0, bro.
How much y'all think the world would pay to see Bronny versus CC?
Bro, he would beat her by 60, bro. He would legit beat her 20-0. Bryce James would beat her 20-0.
Caitlin Clark. I don't know if he get Asian.
He would beat her.
He can't be
They're
Asian.
the same size.
That's my whole point.
Not biased either.
Are y'all serious right now? He's 10 times more athletic than her. He can do everything better than her. She a girl, bro. Like, he physically way more, like, imposing. She a hooper, like, but no, bro.
Jeff Teague actually said that CAITLINCLARK might not even be able to take a single shot if she played one-on-one against Bronny James, and that Bronny would beat her by a score of 200-0. Then, he went even further and said Bryce James would also beat her by the same score.
You gotta be serious right now, Jeff Teague. You got a rookie. Well, this is her second year in the WNBA. Still fresh. She went straight from college right into the WNBA. No breaks in between. You got a rookie 22 games into her WNBA season on a jacked up roster with a coach who's treating her like a role player. And this is what you come out with?
It's clear that Jeff Teague has been holding some strong opinions about women's basketball for a while now. But what really stands out is the timing of his latest comments. It says a lot about his character. CAITLINCLARK has been dealing with injuries this season. At first, it was reported as a quad injury, but later it was revealed to be a groin issue. These injuries have made it hard for her to move and shoot properly. Because of these problems, she has already missed 5 games. Anyone who understands basketball even a little knows how much lower body injuries can hurt a player's performance.
That's the other thing that a lot of people, I believe, are overlooking here. But let's start with Enrique, because they've got a game coming up.
But somehow, Jeff Teague saw CAITLINCLARK pushing through injury and thought, yeah, now's the perfect time to tear her down and question all of her skills. Real classy, Jeff. His comment about her being a one-trick pony is especially ridiculous when you actually take a look at Caitlin's game. This is a player who not only led college basketball in scoring but also led the nation in assists. She's an elite playmaker with amazing court vision, can finish strong at the rim, and is hands down the best long-range shooter in women's basketball. Yet Jeff wants to act like she only has one move, just because she's known for a step-back 3 that works almost every time. If that's the logic, then was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just a one-trick pony because of his skyhook? Was Dirk Nowitzki just one move with his fadeaway? What about Michael Jordan and his turnaround jumper? No one said that about them. The truth is, great players develop go-to moves because they work. Even when defenders know what's coming, they still can't stop it. Caitlin's step-back 3 to the left isn't a weakness, it's a deadly weapon, and when she's healthy, it's almost impossible to guard.
Guys, this is just going to keep getting worse. Until Caitlin's able to get fully healthy, which I contend she's not. The media is about to be a bunch of wolves, and they're fixing to come after Caitlin.
There's something important people are missing here, and it starts with the timing of Jeff Teague's comments. CAITLINCLARK has a game coming up, and she's been battling a groin and quad injury, 2 injuries that are especially tough for basketball players. Medical experts say these injuries affect everything: how you shoot, how fast you move, how well you can change direction, and how smooth your overall rhythm is. So when Caitlin's struggling with her shot while clearly not at full strength, what does Jeff Teague do? He uses that as proof that the league has figured her out. That's like blaming a sprinter for being slow while they're running on a sprained ankle. Naturally, fans didn't take that lightly. The backlash was fast and intense, and for good reason. People are calling out how low it is to criticize a player who's clearly injured. Some are even wondering if Teague has some personal problem with Caitlin, given how often he's made shady comments about her.
Struggled on the court for much of the last month, which includes her missing 5 games due to a groin injury. And this seems to have convinced Jeff Teague that the rest of the league has learned how to slow her down, which he asserted in a July 10th episode of Club 520. Quote, "I'm telling y'all, bruh, they have figured her out," Teague said of Clark. "She's a one-trick pony."
What makes this entire situation with Jeff Teague so frustrating isn't just the comment itself, it's the pattern. Every time CAITLINCLARK faces a challenge, whether it's shooting struggles, chemistry issues, or injury setbacks, there's always a crowd ready to declare she's overrated or figured out. And now, we have a former NBA player joining that chorus. You'd think someone who played at the highest level would understand how hard it is to play through injuries and system problems, but Teague's words show a complete lack of empathy and real basketball insight. Let's be honest, Caitlin isn't struggling because she's been exposed. She's battling a serious groin injury, one of the most painful and limiting injuries in basketball. It throws off your balance, your rhythm, your explosiveness, everything. She's missed games. She's clearly playing through pain. And yet instead of offering insight or support, Teague uses this vulnerable moment to tear her down and call her a one-trick pony. That's not analysis, it's lazy, classless criticism, and it gets worse. This isn't even the first time Teague has gone after Caitlin. Earlier this year, he said she wouldn't score a single point against Bronny James, yes, a college player, and even added that Bryce James would beat her too. That's not analysis either, it's trolling. And now, he's doubling down, saying the WNBA has figured Caitlin out because she uses a step-back move going left. Newsflash, every elite player has signature moves. Jordan had his turnaround jumper. Dirk had his fadeaway. Kareem had the skyhook. Great players don't get mocked for their go-to moves, they get respected for perfecting them. Teague also completely ignores the system Caitlin is playing in. The Indiana Fever haven't built around her strengths. They've put her in an offense that doesn't move the ball well, where teammates don't always recognize her spacing or playmaking. She's had to adapt to a slower system and carry a team still trying to find its identity. Meanwhile, Sabrina Ionescu, the player Teague says he'd rather take, is playing with a loaded roster on a championship-level team. That's not a fair comparison. It's like blaming a rookie quarterback for struggling on a rebuilding team while praising a veteran playing with a stacked roster. Let's be real, Caitlin Clark is still adjusting to the WNBA, but when she's healthy and in rhythm, her game speaks for itself. Her passing, her court vision, her leadership, these are elite-level skills. The groin injury has clearly impacted her shot, which makes sense. Lower body injuries affect everything in a shooter's mechanics. But instead of acknowledging that, Teague acts like her struggles are permanent flaws. Worse still, his comments come at a time when Caitlin has done more to elevate women's basketball than almost anyone in recent memory. She's increased viewership, brought in new fans, and inspired young girls across the world. Teague, who benefited from the platform basketball gave him, is now using his own platform to tear down someone helping grow the game in real time. The reaction from fans has been loud and clear. Jeff Teague crossed a line. Many are questioning whether he has a personal issue with women's basketball, considering how often he's taken these shots. And honestly, if you're going to analyze the game, at least do it with honesty and context. The WNBA hasn't figured Caitlin Clark out. She's been dealing with injuries and a team that hasn't yet figured out how to use her right. Caitlin is only in her second year. Most stars don't even hit their peak until year 4 or 5. She's not done growing, she's just getting started. To write her off now is short-sighted, misleading, and frankly embarrassing for anyone pretending to be a serious analyst. Injuries are part of the game. Criticizing someone while they are hurt doesn't make you insightful, it just makes you look small. And for young girls watching this, who admire Caitlin and dream of being like her, what kind of message does this send? That when you get injured, people will tear you down instead of lift you up? That's not the world we should be creating in sports. I know, Jeff Teague's opinion doesn't define Caitlin Clark. But it does say a lot about him. And if former pros like him can't use their voice responsibly, they should step aside and let real basketball minds do the talking. What do you think? Was Teague out of line? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and make sure to subscribe for more unfiltered takes. Let's keep the conversation real.